You know that classic image of scientific discovery, right? It's always a lone genius in a lab, or maybe that famous story of an apple falling on someone's head. But what if the next huge breakthrough doesn't come from a human mind working alone? What if it comes from a partnership with artificial intelligence? That's exactly what we're diving into today, because AI isn't just another tool anymore. It's on the verge of changing the entire game of science itself.
Okay, so here's the massive problem that scientists are up against every single day. Thousands of new research papers get published. It's not just a lot of information, it's a total tidal wave. I mean, it's growing so incredibly fast that it's physically impossible for any one person or even a whole team of people to keep up in their own field, never mind trying to see what's happening in others.
And that completely flips the whole challenge of science on its head. You see, for the longest time, the big problem was just getting the information. Now, we can get pretty much anything. The real bottleneck, the thing slowing everything down, is making sense of it all. It's about finding those crucial, hidden connections buried in millions and millions of studies.
So, this is where AI comes into the picture. And look, it's not just showing up as a faster calculator or a better spreadsheet. Nope, we are talking about something totally new here. We're witnessing this fundamental shift where AI is going from a basic tool to, well, an actual collaborator in the research.
Okay, let's really break this down. For decades, AI has been a tool, right? It crunches numbers, it stores data, basically a superpowered calculator. But now it's becoming a genuine teammate. We're talking about AI that can actually help generate new ideas, find the perfect person for you to work with on a project, and even design and run the experiments. It's a massive leap from just doing the math to, well, to actually thinking with you.
And this new collaborator is an absolute master at navigating that flood of data we talked about. Get this. These AI systems can read and understand millions of papers in a matter of minutes. They can even translate the super dense jargon from one field of science to another. And here's the really mind-blowing part. They can spot these hidden connections between different fields, links that a human researcher might honestly never find, just because they wouldn't have the time or the unique bird's-eye view.
But wait, it gets even crazier. It's not just about finding links that are already there. By analyzing all these trends in publications, seeing which ideas are being talked about together, these systems can actually start to forecast where a whole field of science is going next. It's like they can flag these undiscovered connections and say, hey, you should look over here. This is probably going to be a huge deal. They're literally generating brand new ideas for scientists to chase.
And science is all about teamwork, so finding the right people to work with is absolutely critical. Well, AI can now analyze a researcher's entire body of work, their specific expertise, the methods they use, and suggest the perfect collaborators, even if they're in a completely different field. It's like a super intelligent academic matchmaker, finding that one person with the exact skills you need to crack a tough problem.
All of this is leading to this really powerful new idea called an agentic workflow. Now, don't think of this like a search engine where you just type in a question. It's much more like a project manager. You give it a big, high-level goal, something like, hey, discover a new material that can do X, Y, and Z. And then it just goes to work, semi-autonomously, to try and make it happen. It looks at what's going on, makes a plan, carries it out, and then learns from the results.
And this workflow creates this incredible research loop. So first, the AI senses. It's gathering up all the data it can from papers, from past experiments. Then it plans, breaking that big goal down into smaller, manageable tasks. Third, it acts. This could mean running a complex computer simulation or even controlling actual robots in a lab. And finally, it reflects. It looks at what happened, analyzes the results, and tweaks the plan for the next round. It's basically the scientific method, but put on hyperdrive.
Now, all of this sounds pretty incredible, right? And honestly, it is. But, and this is a big but, this powerful new partner brings a whole host of new problems and risks that we have to be super careful about. The potential upside is enormous, but so is the downside.
Which really brings us to the heart of the matter, to the one question we absolutely have to ask. Can we always trust this new collaborator? I mean, really, can we just rely on its conclusions, its reasoning, its actions, without keeping a very, very close eye on it?
And the research flags some really serious risks. There's this thing called brittleness, which means an AI could be perfect on 99 tasks and then just fail spectacularly on the 100th for no obvious reason. Then there's the black box problem. Their reasoning can be so complicated that it's impossible for us to know how they reached a certain conclusion. And of course, they can pick up on hidden human biases, get fed bad data, and we still don't really have a standard way to even test how well they're doing.
And that really gets to the core dilemma here. The bigger and more complex the scientific problem we hand over to an AI, the higher the chances that it's going to become brittle, or biased, or just plain impossible to understand. Now, that doesn't mean we should just ditch the whole idea, not at all, but it does mean that human oversight isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely non-negotiable.
So where do we go from here? Well, the answer isn't choosing between humans and AI. That's the wrong way to think about it. It's all about figuring out how we can work together to do smarter science. And to do that safely, we're going to need some clear rules of the road.
Okay, so what does that roadmap look like? First, any funding for this stuff should go to AI tools that are open and auditable, not mysterious black boxes. Second, if an AI is going to run experiments on its own, it needs some kind of third-party review, kind of like an ethics board for AI. Third, transparency is key. Researchers have to be totally upfront about how and where AI was used in their studies. And finally, every single scientist needs to learn the basics of how this stuff works. AI literacy has to become a core competency.
And this quote really says it all. It's the guiding principle for this whole new era. AI's job is to augment our abilities, not replace our judgment. The whole point isn't to make scientists obsolete. It's to take their skills, their intuition, their creativity, and just amplify it. The AI brings the massive scale, and the humans bring the wisdom and the judgment. So, the ideal future looks something like what people are calling a mixed initiative model. It's a real partnership where each side plays to its strength. The human scientist sets the overall direction, asks those really creative out-of-the-box questions, and of course, makes the final call. Meanwhile, the AI does the heavy lifting, the number crunching, the data analysis, and the endless, tireless searching that gets us to the answer way faster. And that just leaves us with this one, final, really exciting thought. You know, for all of human history, science has been held back by two things: the speed of our brains and the number of hours in a day. So with a powerful, tireless AI co-pilot working alongside us, what's next? What boundaries are we finally going to break? What's that next great discovery that we're about to unlock?